In a world where wealth often hardens the heart, CEO James and his wife Deep are rare exceptions, images of compassion amid the chaos. Their journey, once marked by wealth and fame, now winds through flooded villages, devastated businesses, and ghosts from the past seeking revenge. The story picks up after a catastrophic flood. James and Deep, along with their young son, travel to a rural area devastated by the disaster. There, children shiver under tattered tarps and elderly villagers huddle under leaky roofs. They can't look away. Using the company's profits, the couple spearhead a heartfelt relief effort, delivering food, medicine, and warmth to hundreds of people. Villagers watched in amazement as James, a man accustomed to boardrooms and billion-dollar contracts, handed out relief supplies with humility, while Yi lifted a mud-stained little girl from the rising waters with motherly care. But behind the serenity, a storm was brewing. Late one night, as Yi was putting his son to sleep and James was working in his office, an urgent call broke the silence. "Sir," his assistant whispered, his voice trembling, "John, he's out of prison. Someone powerful is pulling the strings." "He's near your mansion." John, the very man James had exposed years earlier for corporate espionage and money laundering, was free. And this time, he wasn't seeking redemption or riches. He was after something much more personal: revenge. To destroy James, John didn't need to attack the company. He just needed to touch what James held most dear, Yi and their only son. What followed was a series of chilling alarms, disabled security cameras, shadowy figures outside their home, and finally, Yi's brake lines cut. James, no longer a mere CEO, has become a man on a mission. He assembles a private security force and moves his family to a secret location. "You want war?" he whispers to the darkness, "then war is everything." Meanwhile, disaster strikes his business. Floods ravage the countryside, swallowing hundreds of acres of timber, the lifeblood of the company. Shipping routes are destroyed, mills are paralyzed, warehouses are flooded, and then the betrayal happened. Their longtime supplier, under John's influence, turned hostile, raising prices and tightening contracts, clearly aimed at strangling James's operations. But John underestimated the man he thought he was breaking. James was more than a CEO, he was a contractor, a fighter, and a strategist. In just 24 hours, he had activated a backup supplier network, secured a better deal in another province, and turned the entire market upside down. While John and the supplier celebrated James's downfall, James closed the deal that had buried them. But the battle was not over. John, hampered in his business, began to panic. Surveillance showed that Deep was being followed, as was their son. James made a heartbreaking decision. He separated them. Yi and her son are hidden in a remote country house, guarded by an unlikely ally, an elderly couple who are bound to James by an old favor, despite being the parents of a notorious gang leader. There, Yi lives a simple, lavish life. But she adapts easily, cooking, gardening, and winning the favor of the landlord. If you don't come get her soon, the old woman jokes to James over the phone, we'll adopt her ourselves. As night fell, James drove out to see her quietly. There was no security detail. No dramatic reunions, just the two of them walking hand in hand under the stars, making few but solemn promises. As long as you're here, had told her, I'll protect you, but hiding wasn't enough. James realized the truth. If he didn't end this war at its roots, they would never be truly safe. So he made the boldest move he'd ever made. He called John directly. Just one sentence. Let's meet. No bodyguards. Just you and me. John agreed, looking stunned. Inwardly, James should have been shaking with fear, not calling him out. They met in a quiet restaurant. James sat across the table, his face calm, his eyes sharp. Name your price, he said. But keep my family out of this. John smirked. I want it all, your company, your life. Hand it over, and I might spare your wife and kids. James stood up, his voice calm but thunderous. Take my life if you can. I'll rebuild the company. But my family? You can't touch them. That meeting didn't end the war, it fueled it. John leaves with a new weapon. He now understands what deep means to James. Worse, he finds a new ally in an old enemy, Tran Duc Tai, the father of Trang, the woman who loved James but was left behind. Humiliated by the scandal, Tai's grudge has simmered for years. Now, broken and bitter, he teams up with John in a new plot to destroy James from within. But James doesn't sit still. He launches a covert counterattack. Security is tightened. Financial data is monitored. Internal communications are briefed. Best of all, he sets a trap, revealing just enough information about the financial woes to make John and Tai believe they have the upper hand. But this isn't chess. This is war, and James has only just begun to play.